Hey YouTube. Hey, Matt here again. I'm going to show you a few things today. I'm going to take a book out of a press. I'm going to take books out of the moisturizer bath, put them into the press, and then I'm going to get just a couple more, and I'm going to put them back in my my moisture bath. Then I have a little unboxing to do today. So I got a couple things going on in this video. Now, first thing is last night I put in a couple books in my press, and here they are right now. Now, I'll show you how I put the pressure on the press, but this is adjustable with this knob, and I don't have it set at a preset already because every book is a little bit different in width. So I actually kind of put pressure on it after I lower the arm here. Let's see how these books did, and I just wanted a real quick press on these books, and so I did it a little bit different than what I have been doing. All right, let's pull this out. Let's see how it is. Oh, in this book, one of the things I wanted to press was there is a bit of spine roll, and I don't know if that's showing up. I'm actually going to repress this book because that didn't come out at all, but I know what I did. I didn't put anything behind the cover to flatten it out. I was hoping that it would just come out, or that spine roll would just come out with the press. So I am going to put this back in a moisture bath, and then the next time I'm going to put a Teflon sheet behind this, and hopefully that helps get that spine roll out. Other than the spine roll right here, I'm looking at this book. I feel like this is a 9/8 candidate. So I'm going to set this off. Oh, there you go. I'm going to set this back in my moisture bath. And all I did for a moisture bath is just a Tupperware bath, or Tupperware tub with water in the bottom. And I have some books here up top. These are the books that we're going to press today. Now let's check this one out. And I told you, I'm experimenting a little bit, seeing how that'll work. This one looks pretty good. This one I noticed before I put it in there was some, where the staple is, it was kind of coming through. So I put the backing board in there and I got rid of that staple mark. Now let's see on the back side. Looking pretty good. The problem is if you guys look in this bottom corner, I pulled it out of the bag and board after I'd never touched it. I ordered it, and that little corner was turned over upside down. So whoever put it in a bag and board, they accidentally knocked off a couple points whenever CGC grades this, because all these books are going to go off to CGC. So here I'm going to put it in the bag, put it in a bag and board. And I'm going to put this off to the side because I'm not going to get this book here better. This is a 1 in 200 variant for Conan the Barbarian, #1. I was kind of hoping to get a 9/8. You can't always win. Now, here's what I'm going to do with these other books that I have. Okay, here's a Darth Vader, #1. And this is Spencer's book. And this has been in a moisture bath, actually overnight. So you can actually kind of feel a little bit of the dampness on it. And if you look, that little corner roll right there, we're going to try to get that up. Now, what I do here, I'm going to put this book back. And guys, I am not a professional grader, and everybody on YouTube says this. I'm not a professional grader. You go at this part of the hobby at your own risk. You're going to make mistakes. I highly, highly suggest before you ever press any book of value, get a dollar book. Go LCS or find one from your collection that's really beat up. That's not going to matter if you make a mistake, because guys, you will make mistakes. That happens all the time. But I've experimented enough where I personally feel comfortable with what I do. So, and there are times I've messed up a book before, but I know you can repress a book. So you might make a mistake. As long as it doesn't break color, sometimes it can be fixed. Not all the time, but a lot of times. So, but what I'm doing here is a great YouTuber taught me that to put a metal, this is aluminum sheet, put it down, and what it does is this press only heats from the top, it does not heat from the bottom. The metal press helps to push some of that heat back. I put on a Teflon sheet just for a little bit of a barrier. And then I use backing boards on top of that. And there's different ways, guys. This isn't the only way, but this is what I found out works. These are actually magazine size backing boards. And this is a glossy side. I put the matte side touching the comic books. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull out this Darth Vader. Now, one way to keep the staples from making a mark on the cover is I'm going to open it up to the staple page. And I'm going to place a backing board, which is about roughly the width of a staple. Right here. Now, you got to be careful when you do this. Don't put that in so far that it's in the staples. Just place it in there up to the staple. And I don't know if this angle shows, but just place it right up to it. Okay. Now, I have some Teflon sheets that I'm going to place in here, inside the front and inside the back cover. Now these, I got to make sure I put the straight edge in there. Let's do the back cover first. The reason I want this in there is that little corner. I want that corner to come out flat. So I'm going to put that Teflon sheet. Also, with newer books, a lot of the times this is like a break from the temperature, or temperature break. A lot of time the ink in these newer modern books, they'll stick together if they get too much heat. And the Teflon sheet, one, it helps flatten out that cover, and it also will help keep the pages inside from sticking. And this is a cut edge, it's not square. I always make sure I put the square edge in towards the spine of the book. And because of the size of the press, I can actually get 2 books in there. So, this book's in pretty good shape. This is a Perillo variant of Conan #1. It's limited to 1,000 copies. The only issue with this book whatsoever is there is a tiny, tiny ink break right on the very corner of that book. And it's tiny. Hopefully CGC doesn't notice it. We'll find out. Alright. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this book, but I'm going to flip it around because if you look, it's almost perfect size in this press that I can get 2 books in here. But I do flip them over. Now this little Teflon sheet, it'll stick out past the edge of the press. I was showing this Teflon sheet, it'll stick outside or out the edge of the press, and that's all right. That's not a big deal whatsoever. Oh, set that there, it won't hurt anything. And again, I want to make sure that I have the square edge into the spine of the book. I've actually pressed before where I had the non-square edge inside, and I've noticed a design in the book whenever I pressed it. I have a couple more sheets in here. Flip this book. Hopefully that little tiny color break, and it's tiny. I don't even know if it showed up on video, it's that tiny. Hopefully that smooths out. So, I am going to move my press just a little bit off the wall. I'm going to readjust these. Make sure that they're not touching. Now, I told you about the thickness of the book. Whenever I press, I make sure that the books are the same thickness. That they're roughly the same year. Because some books are thicker than others, and you want this to be a uniform pressure across it. I'm going to turn that on, and I heat it up to 175 degrees, and it will eventually get up there. That's 62 right now, and it's not up. There we go. Now it's starting to heat up. The heating element did pick up. So I do have a couple other books that I am going. Oh, actually, let me finish this process. Getting ahead of myself. All right, so I'm taking magazine size backing board. I'm just putting it right on top. And making sure that those Teflon sheets are up against the spine of the book, and they are. And again, there's a glossy side and a matte side. I put the matte side, I don't want to put the glossy side next to the book. So, make sure that you're covered. And then I set down this cloth on top of it. It's actually going to touch the heating element. And I set it down just to keep it from putting too much heat on the book and making the pages stick. A Silver Age book, even a Bronze Age and Copper Age book, it's not so much of an issue. But the newer books, the ink will make the pages stick. So, I'm going to do a double check, make sure I don't have anything overlapping. And looking pretty good. Okay. So put that back. Now I'm just waiting for that to warm up to 175 degrees. I have it set on a 30-second timer. Whenever that 30-second timer goes off, I just shut off the press and I'll just let it sit there for anywhere from at minimum 2 hours, but I usually just let it sit for 4 or 5 hours. And a lot of times I'll do this before I go to bed at night or in the evening, maybe not right before I go to bed, and then I'll just get it in the next day. Not a big deal. So here's 2 other books that I want to send off to CGC. Silk in Her Own Appearance. And this is a variant cover of the New Avengers 2004 series. This book, I'm expecting a 9/8 after a press. It's the mistakes are really small, the little dimples in the paper. Honestly, it might come back a 9/8 as it is without a press, but I think there's a couple little errors in it that it might not even show up on camera. But there's just a couple places where I just think it could be pressed and make it look a little bit more presentable. In fact, I just saw in the camera, it looks like there's a little bit of spine roll in there. So I'm going to set these right here. Now, I was going to put 2 books in there, but because I have this book in there, I don't want to leave it in a moisture bath too long, because that, you don't want the paper to get too moist. So I'm going to hold off and put this book in there after I press these 2. So here's my extra bag and board. All right, so then this I don't want to leave on there too long. It's still morning when I'm filming this video. So later today I'm going to come back after about 4 or 5 hours and I'll pull this out. And you can see right now it's about ready to hit 175 degrees. And it'll actually let me know. So I told you before, I go by feel. I'm going to lower the handle and I'm going to put that on there. There will be a little space. I'm just going to crank this down until I feel tension. And it's a very unscientific method. It's not like I mark exactly how many turns I need. It is whenever I feel a little bit of resistance, I just make it snug and then I stop. And honestly, that's worked perfect for me so far. A little bit of trial and error got me there. Now I'm going, and that's where I want it to be. Yep. I don't crank it down. I'm not trying to make pancakes. I'm trying to flatten out the cover. So I'm waiting on my timer. Right now I still have 13 seconds. And it's going to ding. I shut it off. I go away from it. And that's how I press. So I'm going to give it 4 or 5 hours. Then I'll come back here and I'll check it out. So now I want to do a little unboxing for you guys. This is my pull list. It showed up. So let's make sure I put that book off to the side. And here we go. My handy dandy little knife. You guys have seen my pull list before. I don't get the same books every single month, and honestly, it's been months since I ordered this lot, and I don't know what's in here, so we're going to find out. But one of my least favorite things in packing, they make messes. Packing peanuts, but that's all right. If that's what I got to put up with, that'll be all right. Whoa, see? They're already falling on the floor. Let me get the books out. They are well packed. I cannot deny that. So, I'd rather have packing peanuts and have good books than not having packing peanuts and get bad books. All right, so a couple peanuts on the floor. Let's get these. Set this box off to the side. Now let's see what books we got. This was 3 weeks worth of books, and I ordered them, bagged and boarded. Wow, this is a big order here. A lot of books came in this 1 week. And let's set this off to the side. Aha! I can almost tell you what this book is. See a playing card? Wow. Playing card all by itself. That was bagged and boarded. I'm assuming I got a 3 jokers somewhere in here, but we'll see. All right. People, Sumerian, this is a Conan title. People of the Black Circle, number 3. And I get all the variants of anything Conan. So here's another variant. And some of this art by Ablaze is just spectacular. I'm loving this. And I've talked about this in the past. One of my absolute favorite covers of all time is right up here. Hulk Annual number 1. The Jim Steranko version. This is a homage cover to that. And I'm just a big fan of, one, Jim Steranko, who's an amazing artist. But also, you know, just Conan and any of these homage swipes. Now this book, I saw a post on Instagram, and it was done by Ross Ritchie, who is the president of Boom Studios. And after reading his description of this book, I ordered his series. And that's a little bit of a shout out to Ross Ritchie for being so active on social media and putting out his product. And I would have never known about this, but now I do. So I'm kind of excited to read this book. And this is just such a fire cover. This is a classic cover, Avengers number 57. Now, I wish this was a I wish this was an original, but it's a facsimile. But they used to, in the facsimiles, they used to put the current price on it, but I've noticed they started to put the old prices on it. This is Thor number 2. This is the 6th printing. So they're not joking about keep putting out Thor books and Venom books. This is one of my Donny Cates books that I'm collecting all of them. This is 9, issue 9, Thor 9, but this is the first edition. Here's a variant copy. I saw this being advertised. I just liked the art. Greg Hildebrandt. This isn't a second printing. It's just a variant cover. True Believers, Avengers, King in Black. Amazing Spider-Man 51.LR. And honestly, I don't know what the LR stands for. I'm sure somebody does. And if you do, let me know in the comments. Miles Morales. I always collect Miles Morales. Number 20. Our cameraman's doing a great job of showing the art. Because a lot of times, you know, we'll hold up the art, but you really can't see the details. You know, these artists in these comic books, they go out of their way to make these books better and better. This is a variant of Miles Morales Spider-Man number 20. Venom number 26. This is a 4th printing. And a 2nd printing of Venom number 28. And I like that Venomized Scorpion. Let's see what I got this other week. I pay a little extra to have these books bagged and boarded, but honestly, it's a madism. I'm going to shout out to Pretty Fly for a Filipino guy for letting me know that I say honestly way too often. But I guess it's a madism, so he told me to keep saying it. But now that I know it, I catch it every time. Batman, Superman, number 13. And here is the cardstock alternate cover for Batman, Superman, number 13. DC's been putting out a lot of great covers. Now, I talked about that card that I got before. Here's Batman, 3 Jokers, number 3. And I shouted out Pretty Fly for a Filipino guy on YouTube. Now, he told me I have to read Batman, 3 Jokers, so I think I'm going to have to. Gunslinger Spawn. There's actually 3 Spawns on this Spawn 311 cover. Dr. Aphra. Such a fun character in the Star Wars mythology. And another shout out to my idol, I don't know, literary idol, if that's the thing, Conan. He's in the regular Marvel Universe in this series, and it's just, it's a different take on it. I'll be honest with you, I've been reading Conan for years and years. While this story is a good story, they always write Conan as if he is just a one-dimensional, slow-witted barbarian. I don't think they do his character justice, but they do the story. The story is a very interesting story. It's definitely unique. Here's a variant cover of the same title, Savage Avengers 13. And here is ASM 51. A great Doctor Strange appearance. And let's see what we got with our other books. I have 2 more little stacks here. Darth Vader number 6. There should be 2 copies of this because this is a series that my son gets one and I get one. Actually, I don't know. That cover is fire. Hey, cameraman, do you like that cover? If you do, give it a thumbs up. In the front so the camera can see, not to me. All right, so you guys, you can't see, but he is giving a thumbs up. Thor, number 1, the 4th printing. That has an appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider, it looks like. Thor, number 3, the 5th printing. And I might stop getting the variant, or the 2nd, 3rd, 4th printings of Thor. It's just because I think that they're putting out too many of them. But we'll see. Here is ASM 50. Now this has a rest in peace message for Chadwick Boseman, which many of us know that he played Black Panther on the MCU, and a fabulous actor. He played in many other movies. He was taken way too early. He was only 44 years old whenever he passed away. Tragic story. Now, this is one of the Alex Ross Timeless variants. Again, I said honestly, sorry, but I didn't know how I felt about this cover by seeing pictures of it. There is something about seeing this book in person and the detail and the painting and the eyes. This is much more appreciated in person than I'd ever thought of by seeing pictures of this online. Now I'm super stoked about having that. That's an Alex Ross Timeless variant. And my last little pack here, it's actually the smallest out of that box. Let's see. Conan! Gotta love the ongoing Conan the Barbarian series. Looks like a little Edgar Allan Poe type of dungeon there. And Maestro. Now I ordered like 5 different variant covers for Maestro number 1, but the rest of the series I only ordered the A covers. There was just so many hot covers on that Maestro number 1. ASM 50LR, a lot of characters from the Spider-Verse. I was talking about first appearance of Silk, or I showed one, I believe. And right there is Silk. A lot of great characters from the Spider-Verse. And Venom number 29. Cover A. Alright guys, hey, I appreciate you watching the video. If you guys have any questions, please put them down in the comments. They're just fun comments. I love reading interaction with the community here. But if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And guys, everyone have a great day.